If you have educational expenses or college fee that you like to pay immediately, or even if you want to start a new business that requires more money than your budget, then this podcast will show you how to do that. Okay? Because in this episode, we are going to uncover how you can win the scholarship money to pay for your expenses. I'm not talking about one expense. I'm talking about every expense in your life, including playing football or traveling or even doing a podcast. Okay? Yeah, just about anything. You can actually win any scholarship to pay for your any expense in your life. I know it kind of sounds impossible, but there's actually a strategy for that, and you are going to discover it in this episode. Okay, so some of the points that we'll be talking about are challenges that applicants face when applying scholarship, which scholarship you should prioritize, why does scholarship that has a long application process is the best option, and why do people give scholarships, and so much more. Okay, so those are some of the points. And just a quick note here, you might notice some differences in the audio because, the reason is the audio was not stable and the way I pronounce certain words were not entirely clear. So I just decided to record it again and word it correctly. Okay, so nothing's different, it's just the audio interface and all that. But anyway, this is a part 2 series of winning the scholarship. Check out part 1, which is the episode 70. Okay, episode 70 for part 1 of this interview. So when you check that out, you can discover the best strategy to find and win the right scholarship. So let's begin.
So the real question is this: how would an entrepreneur like us, who literally start from nothing or has limited resources and yet still wants to build an empire, join Ashraf as he answers this big question so you can apply it too? Welcome to Focus on Winning.
So what's the challenge that you face usually when people ask for your advice or maybe strategies, or maybe when they apply for scholarships? What's the challenge that you usually face?
That's a really good question. The challenge that comes up all the time might be for the family who is needing monies. They're requiring monies for education immediately.
All right.
That is definitely by far the biggest challenge that I come up against. Families who they reach out to me because they've gotten a bill for some sort of educational expense coming up, and they need monies immediately. So that is a challenge because scholarships, it's not a situation where we apply this week and we get paid in 2 weeks, right? Like, it doesn't happen that way. There is a challenge of time
preparation.
They usually do. They usually will. Usually they'll pay out. Well, they pay out always within a year. It could be 6 months. Sometimes it's as soon as 2 months, right? But there is always a lag time with actually receiving an award because there's a time of application. There's an application duration, right? So here's what I recommend to any families out there who are faced with the challenge of I have an educational expense I have to pay right now. Okay. What I would recommend is taking a really clear look at how can you, number one, reduce that educational expense immediately right now. And then secondly, let's prioritize scholarships that have shorter application periods. So if we only have so much time, so we want to strategically put our time and energy behind scholarships that are best going to serve us. If there's a scholarship that has a year application period It might not be a scholarship you want to prioritize. You then want to prioritize what are the scholarships that are going to turn around in 2 months, right? What are the scholarships that are going to turn around in 3 months? The scholarships that have the shortest duration time, then those are the ones I want to prioritize strategically now.
So all of the challenge are related to families. Is there any other challenge that may be related to students only, or maybe one person only?
Well, there's the challenge of the time for when someone needs that money. Could be from the student, it could be from the family, but also too, sometimes students will find that there might be a challenge in wanting to set aside time to complete an application and write a new essay, or spend the time to fill out a big application. And here's what I have to say. Like, look, choice is the most powerful thing that we own, and you can decide what scholarship you're going to apply to. But scholarships that do require work, the essay, the long application, those are scholarships that have the better chance of winning. Why? Because most people want to skip that one. Right? People don't want it. We're all humans, human beings. We don't want to do work. All right. I don't want to do any work that I don't have to do. Right. So that's human. That's human. So if you are actually choosing to do scholarships that have work required, guess what? That means that you are actually increasing your chances of winning those awards. Yeah. And all the more reason, going back to our step one with creating the personal search engine list with ready to go material, all the more reason to dig out any papers, any essays, any things that you have done at university or secondary school to be able to use for a future scholarship. Right? You already put the time in, that essay was already written. Let's go find a scholarship connected to it.
Nice. So the harder it is, the harder the work is, so the better the chance of winning, right? Well, Jean, the scholarship sounds really awesome. The process behind it, the application, the money that people can get, and the things that they can use from that scholarship money. But one thing I'm really curious is, if we put ourselves in the scholarship givers' shoes, isn't it weird that these people give free money to the other people?
So why would somebody give? What's the incentive to? Are you asking what's the incentive to award a scholarship to a student?
No, not really. I mean, why do these people give free money to the people that wants to travel, to the people that wants to start a business, or they give money to the people that plays game? Why is that?
Absolutely. Why would Google put together their Doodle for Google scholarship? Like, why is it like why a company would do that? Sure. So think about it. A company, an individual, a foundation, they have their own mission. They have their own corporate mission or their own foundational mission, and perhaps a scholarship could align with that. For example, there's a scholarship that it's called the Angela Award. All right, it is only open to female students in grades 5 through 8. That's it. And even more specifically, female students in grades 5 through 8 who have some interest in science. It's $1,000. It happens every single year. So only female students in middle school grades are able to apply for this scholarship. Why? Because that organization that has put together the Angela Award it's part of their mission and their goal as an organization to encourage women to go into the STEM careers, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math. So putting together that scholarship aligns with their mission. aligns with their vision for their corporate goals or their organizational goals. And that's why somebody would do it for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. I never thought about that. I mean, I
Yeah.
thought, so let's say I want to, let's guide our listeners here. Okay. So let's say
Yes.
I, as a listeners want to get advice from you on how to get scholarship. So if I go to you and then how do you start from there?
Sure. So, so first off, there's three things that I would give you as options to do. So, first option is if you want to do this journey of scholarship searching, on your own. We've put together a lot of free resources, including the How to Get Started guide at Connections 101. So, download those resources, go after this money, be persistent. If you need a little bit of support, if you want a little bit of guidance, I would recommend for people to, join one of our scholarship clubs, which means that you're just working in a group. And I'm able to help guide, groups of students, every single month. And it's, happens all virtually. Students have access to a private Facebook group for that month. And there's a lot of, mutual support, which I think is so important in this process, right? We get excited right off the bat, but then we need to stay excited. We need to stay motivated. And sometimes kind of helping each other is one of the best things that we could do. But if you're someone who just wants to do like a deep dive into what is going on for you, we have what are called jumpstart sessions, which is just an individual with one family, a deep dive into what is going on for that student, and will help you map out, plans of action for yourself.
So which option do you actually recommend the most?
Yeah, I recommend the scholarship club. I mean, the students who have, it's essentially like group coaching. Schools have actually hired my company for many years, running scholarship clubs at on site at schools. And the students who have had the most success with not just getting, really into this scholarship search process, but staying motivated, staying engaged, staying, focused on, just again, those small, doable little steps that you're going to do each week to keep getting those applications out there. They were all part of scholarship clubs. Wow. And yeah, I mean, I've had students who've won anywhere from $20,000 to $200,000. And nice. I'll tell you, the biggest winners have always been students who were working with other students, because guess what? Every scholarship you come across is not going to be right for you. Could, though, be right for somebody else. And that somebody else, they could find a bunch that are perfect for you. If you are working with other students, on your scholarship search, then what happens is you spend less time searching and more time applying. And that is a better use of your time.
Right. So, how do we know that scholarship is the right for us? Let's say I am good at many things, right? So I am good at football, badminton, and podcasting, and also editing some videos. So how do I know which scholarship is right for me?
So I would do searches on every one of those things. And I would even break it down even further. So let's say, for example, you said that you're good at football, right? Yeah. Maybe you've even played some football with some younger kids, right? So that could also be mentoring, leadership, right? You could, inspiring a younger person, right? So those are more categories. You are, podcasting. Let's talk about podcasting, right? So that's not just one category, right? It could be on you, inspiring people on any number of the subjects that you've had shows on about podcasts in your podcast, right? all of those things. This is how you are actually creating your personal search engine list. All the categories that you can be searching on. And the scholarship for football is going to look different than the scholarship for podcasting, but that's okay. You're going to do a different application for every single one.
Wow. So that's a lot of work actually. If I have to apply for that. Okay.
It's work. So, it's only work if you're having to create new material, right? So, let's say even the scholarships that you have for maybe the scholarship of you that relates to mentoring and inspiring a younger person. And there's some video footage that one of your friends took on their phone, of you playing football with a younger kid, right? Guess what?
Right.
That's your application.
Wow.
That can become part of your application. It's
nice.
A lot of times people think that I have to create all this new stuff. No. Use what you have. Look at what you have. What do you have available to you? Let's take all the stuff I've already typed, I've already filmed, I've already created, and let's find monies related to that so I can just send all of that out.
Awesome, Jane. So we are close to an end today, so I think we can wrap up our conversation today. So what's the one thing our winners can do today after listening to this episode?
So the number one thing is to recognize that there is money out there for you. There's money out there for everybody. And if you are someone who is looking for monies to help you with any type of educational goal, get started. Great way to get started. Visit my website, connections101.com. Tons of resources there. Reach out to me and also stay connected to me. I post scholarships all the time at our Facebook page and our Instagram page, which is Scholarship Strategies. You can pop me a tweet at Scholarship Gene and let me know how you are. I want to know how much money you win because it's your stories that will actually inspire someone else down the road to really go after that money.
Awesome, Jean. So go check out connections101.com and connect with Jean on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to learn more about scholarship strategy. So, Jane, thank you for sharing your ideas and insights with us. Really happy to have you here.
Ashraf, I love talking with you. I can't wait to do this again. So, and be well and be healthy. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So, to our winners, I'll catch you another time.
Bye.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that episode with Jane O'Toole. So you heard the CTA just now. Go to her website, connect with her on Facebook or LinkedIn or any other social media so you can learn more about how to win the scholarship money. Okay, so here's another CTA. If you like to discover how you can build an audience of buyers, how to create content that leads to sales, and how to close high-ticket offer, then make sure to subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already, okay? Because there will be a lot of strategies that will be uncovered that people charge for thousands of dollars, and we are going to give it to you for free, okay? So anyway, always remember that winners focus on winning. Until then, stay winning.
Hey, thank you for listening. We hope you can implement everything from this episode. And would you like to know more about business strategies and life hacks that you can apply right now? If so, subscribe to this podcast so you can become the best you.